This past weekend, the Modern Warfare 3 beta came to PC, so I had some time to jump into the game and kind of formulate my thoughts a little bit on the beta. Overall, I must say I'm a little bit disappointed. Now, the game is fun, and there's definitely some nostalgia value to getting all the old MW2 maps, but I kind of wanted to like this game a lot more than I ended up liking it. I did have some fun here and there, but overall, by the end of my time playing the beta, I was kind of over it. And granted, the beta is missing game modes and maps and all that, but I worry the same thing is going to happen with the full game, is once kind of that nostalgia value of playing on those old maps wears out, you're going to kind of realize that you are basically paying for a $70 DLC. Now, the game obviously comes with all the remakes of the Modern Warfare 2 maps, which definitely is cool, and it also comes with new guns along with the balance changes like the changes to movement, and that for the most part is the big thing behind Modern Warfare 3. Now, there is the new Cutthroat mode, and then later on, you're going to get the Warzone updates and the new Zombies mode, but what we're going to get at launch is just Call of Duty multiplayer. You have all of your Modern Warfare 2 maps remastered, and then you basically have Modern Warfare 2 gameplay, but with slightly higher time to kill and slide canceling back in the game, along with things like ADS being a little bit quicker and more smooth, and overall just balancing gameplay changes to make the game play a little bit quicker and a little bit less campy than Modern Warfare 2. Now, if you're a big fan of modern Call of Duty movement and you love slide canceling and you love time to kill being a little bit higher, then Modern Warfare 3 is probably a game that you are going to enjoy. If you're on the other end of that spectrum and you hate slide canceling, well, then this game probably isn't going to be one for you. Now, currently in the beta, there is a little delay between the end of your slide cancel and when you can tac sprint again, so it's not as cracked as Modern Warfare 2019 or the original Warzone, but it's pretty close. And I do think without that slight delay, the game will get even more insane, so we'll see if they end up removing it. The delay in the PlayStation beta was actually even longer, and they lowered it a little bit for the second weekend of the beta. So I do think this Call of Duty is going to get pretty dang sweaty, especially when you combine in skill-based matchmaking. It seemed like, at least in the beta, now granted, a majority of the people playing in the beta are probably more hardcore players, but my games felt very sweaty. Now, I'm not going to claim I'm like someone who's really good at COD, but usually I can chill and have a pretty good time. But I felt like in the beta, I had to be trying my ass off to be able to have any fun and to be able to go positive. So I'm hoping when the game comes out, it's a little bit more casual, but we'll kind of have to wait and see with that. So obviously Modern Warfare 3 has the remakes of all the original MW2 maps, which is pretty cool. It's very nostalgic, and there's some amazing maps, High Rise, Terminal, and a slew of others that are going to be a lot of fun. But I do think this beta exposed one thing for me, and it's that some of those maps, we've kind of forgotten how bad they are. Now, the beta only had a handful of maps, so it didn't have all the ones we're going to end up playing, but in the beta specifically, we did get Estate, and Estate is terrible. It was bad back in 2009, but it's even worse in this game with the terrible visibility that hopefully they can improve upon, as it's really hard to see people when they're far away on that map. And that's not just a problem on Estate. The visibility is just bad across the board. It's just more noticeable on that map because the map is bigger, but I also think that map is hurt by the time to kill. In 2009, when you went to kill someone cross map, you only had to shoot them a few times. But with the higher time to kill in this, it can be a little bit annoying with how big that map is. Now, on the other maps, the higher time to kill does actually feel pretty good, and I think the time to kill combined with the movement is definitely going to raise the skill ceiling on this Call of Duty, and you are going to see some pretty crazy outplay. You can really break someone's ankles and just completely outplay them, which isn't really something you could do as much in last year's Call of Duty title. Map voting does return in Modern Warfare 3, and overall, I'm not a huge fan of the feature. I know it's one of those features that everyone talks up and, talks about how awesome it was back in the day, but I think it's just going to end up with us playing a lot of the same maps over and over. And honestly, I would have rather just seen like a veto, where you either had to veto the map you wanted to play, or just play the map it had already picked, or just, the regular system where you just get thrown into a game. Map veto isn't the end of the world, but I don't think the feature is as good as people make it out to be. Now, Modern Warfare 3 also, along with the new maps and stuff, comes with some new weapons, and these are pretty straightforward. They're just more Call of Duty weapons. In the beta specifically, there was a very defined meta. It felt like 99% of my deaths were to either the ACR, the UMP, or the longbow, so I really do hope there's a little bit more viable variety in the full game, or at the very least, maybe just people are using more stuff to have fun, because it got pretty stale basically having to use the ACR or the pretty much the whole weekend. I didn't have the longbow because I wasn't going to pay $100 for the Vault Edition, and the other sniper wasn't too bad, it just didn't seem as good as the longbow. Now, I do think sniping in this game is pretty strong. With the higher time to kill, it makes the one-shot snipers feel even more powerful, because you can put a few shots into someone with an assault rifle, but if they have enough time to quickscope you with the sniper, well, you're going to be the one that ends up losing that gunfight. So if you're a big Call of Duty sniper, I think you might have some fun with MW3, though hopefully they remodel the snipers or something, because I'm not sure why the longbow basically looks like an AK with a giant scope on it. In the Modern Warfare 3 beta, we also got the new game mode Cutthroat, which is like this 3v3v3 round-based single life mode with a down and revive system, and honestly this game mode isn't too bad. It was nothing too special, I mean, it's nothing that's gonna blow you away, but it does seem like a mode you could throw some time into and have a little bit of fun. Overall, I can't say that I'm like super excited about Modern Warfare 3 or that I think this is like the return of Call of Duty like some people are making it out to be. But it is going to be, you know, a solid COD. It's going to sell well just based off the nostalgia alone and the fact that they're reverting a ton of changes from Modern Warfare 2 that people didn't like. And so this game's probably going to sell pretty well. I'll be interested to see what the player retention on it is, because I think some of these changes, while they definitely cater to the hardcore player base, like the movement and like the time to kill, those aren't changes that the casual player base cares about or enjoys. So we'll have to see kind of what the player retention is like. I'm also a little bit worried that just playing Modern Warfare 2 maps is going to get a little bit stale after a while, so hopefully we get a good post-release schedule that has a variety of new maps, which isn't really something we saw in Modern Warfare 2. I mean, throughout the game we got a few maps, but it really felt like they trickled in that multiplayer content and had most of their focus toward Warzone. Now that said, while Warzone wasn't in this beta and the Warzone update is going to come later on this year, I am pretty excited to try out Warzone, specifically with the movement changes. I think that's going to bring a lot more of those Warzone 1 vibes back into the Battle Royale, and it should be pretty fun. I'm also interested to see what this zombies mode is going to turn out to be. The trailer they showed for it and like the gameplay looked pretty underwhelming, but maybe it'll end up being decent. I didn't have super high hopes about DMZ, and DMZ actually ended up pretty fun. And you know what? It's kind of a bummer that DMZ isn't continuing support. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Modern Warfare 3 beta. At the end of the day, it's alright. I think the maps are going to be fun. They're going to be nostalgic for a little bit, and then it'll probably kind of wear off. Like most Call of Duty multiplayer games, you know, after a few months, you get a little bored of it and you kind of wait for the next one. I was hoping that this one would really pull me back into the Call of Duty multiplayer cycle, but I'm not really sure it is gonna. I will say that I think a proper Modern Warfare 2 remastered would have been a lot more fun than just getting the maps basically with modern COD movement. I think a true to form 2009 Modern Warfare 2 remastered would have been so much fun with that movement, with that time to kill, and instead we're getting kind of a hodgepodge where we get the maps from that, but instead we get it with effectively Modern Warfare 2019 movement, although, you know, with a little bit of a delay. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. I hope you enjoyed it.